Hey everyone, Tony Walsh here. Welcome back to the channel. Jackie and I are on the road today. It's going to make 3 stops. We already made one and the place was closed. Bad timing on our part. So we're at stop number 2, and that is at Southern Grace Farms in Enigma, Georgia. And you've seen some videos here before where we picked, I think we picked blackberries, strawberries and stuff like that. But today we are at a antique tractor show. It's not time for it to get started yet, but we'll bring you back when they open up. And here's the front of their store. In Southern Grace Farms, if I didn't say, it's in Enigma, Georgia, which is just east of Tifton, Georgia. It's family-owned farm, row crop farm, U-pick farm. You can search Southern Grace Farms on Facebook and see more about them, but we come here a couple of times a year to do some U-pick stuff. But you can see they got just the big chair there to take pictures in with the kids, grandkids, or whatever, or adults if you want to get in there. Nice little Ford tractor. I've showed that before. Again, don't know what size it is, don't know what year it is. Some of you Ford aficionados might know the answer to that. They do have a market store inside, but as I said, they're not open yet. Just old nice barrels, benches, picnic area here if you want to picnic, and nice playground for the kids. So you can eat here. They do have restrooms. Just a nice place to play. And here's a set of tractors coming to the show, so let's walk over here and see what they got in the field. Okay, this is their strawberry patch, and of course they pick them and package them and sell them. Of course, it's a U-pick, and look what we have right here. That thing is a beauty. I'm not going to pick it and eat it, even though my temptation is there to pick it and eat it. Ooh, there's another one over there. So then over there is some sort of citrus tree. I can't remember what it is, but on the far side of those citrus trees are blackberries, and we have picked blackberries over there. I know across the road over there, can't get my finger in the camera, right over there is some more, finger messed that up. I know there are more citrus and plum trees over there. And it looks like their greenhouses took a hit during Hurricane Helene, so maybe they'll get those fixed soon. Okay, folks, we'll get started. There's a lot of tractors already here of all shapes, sizes, colors, makes, brands, models. It's got a good smorgasbord, so we'll just do a panoramic view right here. I was going to start over here, but I'll wait for this gentleman to walk down the line, so I'll bring you back in just a second. We'll start right here with this John Deere 320, and it's owned by a Robert Curry, and he has a good selection of this 20 series. So here we have a 1956 320, followed by a 1956 420S. So the next one is a 420W, which I know is wide, so I'm assuming the S is probably just standard. Somebody feel free to chime in and let me know. So that's a 56 420S and a 1956 420W. Nice looking collection. And then here we have a 1956 520 with a single steering tire, followed by a 1956 620. So a lot of 56. I guess he's trying to stick to that year as we go down the line here. And here we have a 56 720. So not only is he staying in the 20 series, he's staying in the 56 year range until we get here to the 820. It's a 1957. So again, Mr. Curry has a nice collection. I might have to try to go visit his house sometime. Here we have a 1956 8th. 430, and it's owned by RBJ Farms. And then same owner. It's a 1956 70 series. And it says 70W, so it must be a wide front. And then a 1956 60 series, so they must have their yellow paper swapped backwards. Then followed by a 430 John Deere. Then followed by a newer model 1020 down there. So let me go around all these folks. Here's the other side of the John Deere 1020. Then followed by a 1949 Ford 8N. Nice little tractor there. Swing around here, we have a 1958 801 Ford Powermaster, and this row has some implements behind a couple of them, so we'll swing around the front and then go around to the back. And then here, it's a 1951 Ford 8N, and it has a 2-row bottom plow behind it. Then a 1934 John Deere A, and I know this sun is a bear right here, glaring to some of you. Followed by a 1941 John Deere A. A good old orange Alice Chalmers, 1954 WD-45. Then a 1936 John Deere B. And it has a single row subsoiler behind it. I'll go right in here between these two and show it. Just hitches up to the drawbar. See if there's a serial plate on this subsoiler somewhere. Nope. It's a good thing I've lost weight where I can fit in between these rows. So here we are, the 1943 John Deere LA. Followed by a 1956 John Deere 420. And it has a set of Harrows behind it. They're green, but I don't know what model they are. Followed by a nice little crawler right here. I love these things. Then here we have another Ford 801 right here with a dirt scoop behind it. Followed by a John Deere 520, and this has an old transplanter. And these are a lot of these things still around our area. Just so people had them to transplant tobacco. And this is a John Deere, made in Canada. So don't know the year to it. Still looks in good shape. But for those of you just curious how tobacco was transplanted back in the day, honestly, I do not know how they plant tobacco today. I have not watched anybody plant, but used to the case of plants would sit here, and then people sitting here would take turns dropping the tobacco plant in there, and then it would just fall down in there and plant in the furrow. Now the big boy John Deere, let me get around here to the side and see what it is. So we're back on another row of the 1958 630. And over here we have a 1958 830. Sitting next to a Ford 5000. So I don't think I have ever seen a 5000 that tall. If anybody has, let me know. But it's a 1972 model. And this one, if you remember, belongs to Chris Cannon, 1949 John Deere G. And I interviewed Chris back on January 1. So if you want to go back to that video for January 1, just look at the date. You'll see where I was at a tractor parade and interviewed Chris on that. So he's here somewheres. I haven't seen him yet. And then this is Chris's 1949 Farmall. So I'm gonna try to round him up, and we'll do a little interview of him and let him tell us about his little Farmall right here. And of course over here we have a Ford 741 Workmaster, 1957 model, followed by a Ford 2000. Now my stepfather had one of these. So this is the 63 model. I wish I knew what he had, because I'd go try to find one and buy it just to have it. I know I won't never find the one he had. And then here we have a 1958 Ford 541 Workmaster, and it says offset. And I guess because if you look at it, the steering wheel is offset to the right hand side compared to being in the center. Then behind this row we got a 1972 Ford 3000. Nice little tractor. And here we have a 1949 Farmall M cotton picker. So at one point in time this thing had a cotton picker strapped to it. It'd be neat to see the cotton picker now. And over here a Farmall H. Let's see, a 1948 model, followed by a little Farmall A. Let's see the sign over here on this side. Nope, down here on the front, excuse me. 1947 row crop version, followed by 1947 Farmall AV, and followed by Farmall 100, 1955 model, a high crop version. And last but not least, I have a 1942 Farmall H. So that's all the tractors. So let me go see if I can find Chris and get him to talk to us. All right, so if y'all remember from January 1, you met Chris back then, and we talked about that John Deere. So I got Chris here. We're going to talk about his 1948 Farmall Super A that used to belong to his granddaddy. So, well, we're fixing to make an announcement, so hang on.
Well, here it is again. Y'all might have seen the video in Baxley where I was plowing with this. I had a one bottom plow hooked up to my custom made 3-point hitch. But anyway, this tractor was bought by my granddaddy in about 2008. I don't know where he got it from or who he got it from or even how much he paid for it. I just remember he didn't buy it as a show tractor. He got it to work in his garden with. And when he got it, he had the front and the back mounted cultivators that you could work off of the lift. But then after he was gone and we quit gardening with it, what really caused its demise for that time was the fan seized up on it. So we just put it up and kind of left it in one of the barns. And once I got back into doing all this, I had the idea I wanted to get this one running next after the G. And I actually didn't do all the work to get it running myself. I took it down to Ray City to a man who's around here. He's got one, and he worked on it for me. And since then, I haven't had any trouble with it. It's other than change an alternator on it. But got being an A, Super A, it's got the offset operator station. That was a little weird to me. I always said this was the closest thing I've ever had to driving a British or a JDM car. If you'll come around the back, I made up my own 3-point hitch for it. When I was in college, I decided I'd do this. I had a plow, so I had to make up a hitch to go with it. I was going to get a little kit for it. Gen Sales and another place does a kit for it, but when I tried to call them and order it, they didn't have any, and it was about $800 for it. So I was actually able to make this whole setup that you're seeing right here for about $300, with stuff that I got from Agri Supply in Tifton. And after months of working on it, I've finally gotten it now to where it works good. The plow fits on it. After I had to rebuild the plow, I completely tore it apart and rebuilt it. I didn't bring it with me today. But when I'm not plowing with it, I'll have either this drawbar or I've got another flag mount. Whenever I don't take the G, I have another flag mount that I put on the lift to put my flags on. But it's one of my favorites. Of course, they're all, I love them all, but this one's especially one of my favorites because it was Granddaddy's.
Yep. Okay.
But yeah, that's all I got to say about it.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Chris, and I guess I'll see you at the next show.
All right.
Okay, Jackie and I are back home, and yes, I've changed shirts. That long sleeve shirt I had on this morning, it got hot. But we're back home, and behind me is our I think it's a 1964. I'm having a problem reading the serial numbers on it because of the paint on the data plate. So I think it's a 1964, but I know it is an International Harvester 504, excuse me, utility diesel. So I hope you enjoyed these antique tractors. I hope to do more of those this year. So until we get back together, y'all take care and God bless.